Welcome to your lesson on Microsoft Excel. We are looking at the basics of Microsoft Excel, and in this lesson what we want to do is we want to look at a spreadsheet that we have set up. It's basically a student spreadsheet. It consists of name, test 1, test 2 and test 3 marks, and some student names and their marks. Now, the real power of Excel lies in its ability to be able to use formulas. So this is where really things are saved. So up to this stage, if we did this on a piece of paper, that would be much the same as what we've got here. But it's the formulas where the power lies. So let's say, for example, we wanted to have in the fourth column what the students possibly, let's say their averages or their total, depends how we want to work this. So let's just say that's an average mark. So that's they're going to get an average of the various tests as their final mark. So let's widen that column. Remember, move your mouse pointer till it becomes a double-headed arrow and just drag it so that it can be a little bit bigger. Right, so how would you normally calculate average? Well, the average would be the first one plus the second one plus the third one divided by 3. So we can do it like that. That's one way of doing it. And you can put in a formula. So to put in a formula, all you do is place your pointer at the cell where you want the formula to go, and you start your formula with an equal sign. That means you're about to type in a formula. Now, as I mentioned in an earlier lesson, each cell has what's called a cell address. So what we want is we want this number 60, which is stored in cell B2, so we type B2, to be added to, so I have a plus sign, what's stored in cell C2, plus what's stored in cell D2. Okay, if I hit enter on that, you'll see it's done a straightforward calculation. It's added the 3 together. 60 plus 74 plus 72 is 206. Now obviously that's not an average yet. We'll come to that in a moment. So what we could do is we could say, well, an average means we need to divide all of those by 3. So I could click it and I just edit my formula slightly. I'm going to put a bracket at the start. I'm going to put a bracket at the end, and I'm going to say divide, and divide is the / on your keyboard. Divide by 3. So what have I got? I've got B2 plus C2 plus D2 divided by 3. And there it's worked it out for me. The average for Fred is 68.6666667. Okay, and we will look at how you can make it not appear so strange later on. So that is how formulas work. Very simple. Now, let's just delete that and do it again. I want to show you a slightly easier way of doing it. So start with your equal sign, but instead of having to go and say, well, what is that? That is B2. You can simply, once you've started your equal sign, telling Excel you want to do a formula, click on the cell you want. And you see immediately it is identified that it's B2. Then I type my plus, and I want you to add that one. So I click on the next cell, and I want another plus, and I click on the third cell, and you can see it is put in the various formula locations automatically. And so now I can put in my 2 brackets as we did before and divide by 3, and it's worked it out for me. So that is basically how a formula works. All we do is refer to the cell address. But this is where the real power starts to come in. Let's say, for example, Fred gets a remark on that earlier test, and it's not actually 60, it turns out to be 70. So all you do is you go back to cell B2 where Fred's test 1 mark is, and you type over it. We're going to type 70. Now watch carefully what happens to the average mark. As I hit enter, the average immediately recalculates to 72. And this is the real power of spreadsheets, because once you have all your formulas in place, they automatically recalculate. You don't have to go back here and calculate it again. And so it saves a huge amount of time. And if your formula is correct, you don't have to do it over and over and over again. You merely have to do it once. But there's another amazing part to formulas. So not only is our formula only have to be entered once to be correct, you can copy a formula. So obviously that same formula needs to apply to John, Tabo, Lungili, Sue, and Kiara, and we don't have to type it again, because in the next row it would have to be B3 plus C3 plus D3 divided by 3, and we'd have to go on, and the next one would have to be the same thing but B4. What you can do in Excel is you can copy your formula. There is a number of ways in which you can do this. The easiest one is to just click on the formula where the formula is, and move your pointer until it is on the bottom right hand edge. Notice how it changes shape from that to the double double-headed arrows to what looks like just an X, targeting X. When you've got that, simply click and drag down for as long as you want the formula to be copied. When you're ready, let go, and it's going to copy that formula into all the cells. So now let's take a look. So that was the first cell. We'll see the formula is B2 plus C2 plus D2. If we go to the next cell, it has changed. It's B3 plus C3 plus D3, and all the way down to the last cell where it is B7 plus C7 plus D7. So that is one way of copying your formula. I'm just going to undo that by clicking the undo button up at the top. You can use it whenever you want to undo something that you've just done, and if you want to redo, you can click the redo button in case you undid it just by mistake. So another way of copying that formula is to simply go copy. You can either choose the copy up there, or you can use Control-C on your keyboard, or if you're using on a Mac, it would be Command-C, or just click copy over here. Then you'll see it's got little ants running around the cell saying, yes, I am ready to copy it. Where do you want to paste it? You copy something, you've got it pasted. So I would like it to go there, but not just there. I would like it to go from that cell all the way down to this cell. So click the first cell, hold the shift button, and while holding the shift button, click the last cell. You'll see it's highlighted all of those cells. And now I would like it to go there. Simply click paste, and the formula has now been pasted into all those cells. So that is another way of doing it. So the two ways, either you click on it and grab the bottom right hand corner, drag it down, or you simply copy and then select the cells where you want it to go and paste the formula. So that's real power of Excel, the ability to have a formula that changes, and whenever we change a value, you will notice that it immediately changes the end result of that value in the formula recalculates. So that is a brief introduction to the basics of using formulas in Microsoft Excel.